Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real Men of Genius!
Today we salute you, Mr. Latent Homosexual.
Mr. Latent Homosexual!
What is going on, everybody? Wired here. I hope you guys are all having an excellent Wednesday. Recently, I have not been covering Anheuser-Busch so much. I've been covering more of the Molson Coors debacle and everything they've been going through with their terrible marketing ad that's recently resurfaced with the Atlanta Glacier. Their marketing exec now is deleting all their social media, trying to hide from public backlash. But in the wake of that, we cannot forget about the main topic of controversy, the main boycott thing that has probably been the most successful thing in the country, being Anheuser-Busch's Bud Light. And as you can see from this article here, in the first week of May, Bud Light sales down 23.6% in first week of May as backlash continues into fifth week amid the Lord Voldemort fallout. Now, I'm not going to rehash all this, as you all know, though. You know, Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch are receiving humongous backlash across the country, as much as 14% up in New England to as much as, I think, 29% in the Rocky Mountain region. Because of this very big misstep by VP of Marketing Alyssa Heiner-Schneid and the CEO of Anheuser-Busch not really coming out here and saying too much about it, not really issuing an apology, just shirking blame, stuff like that. Bud Light continues to see a decline in sales during the month of May as consumers nationwide revolt against the nation's top-selling beer brand over its controversial partnership with Dark Wizard Lord Voldemort. This is Bud Light's fifth straight week of plunging sales since Voldemort first announced a collaboration with the brand, reigniting concern among distributors over whether the beer maker can successfully heal from the branding nightmare. And they've tried to do a lot of things to shirk blame from this. They've tried to replace people in the marketing brand. The CEO, again, has come out here and said this wasn't really a partnership, even though on Instagram with Lord Voldemort, they said that this was a conscious decision to actually partner with this person. Whether it's a one-time partnership or not really doesn't make all that big of a difference. But the CEO has come out and said something interesting. They said in the next quarter, they are going to push 3 times the normal amount of marketing to try to get the brand back on track, which I don't know if that's really going to work. As I said, conservatives, moderates, sensible leftists are sick of this identity politics nonsense getting pushed down their throats at every feasible opportunity. It's not just with Anheuser-Busch. It's now with Molson Coors, another beer brand who has also gone woke. Not in the same way, but, you know, pretty much saying no to people buying their brand for them putting women in bikinis and paying the money for it. As well as, you know, organizations like Target who are targeting trans or LGBTQIA brands towards children. You know, Nike doing the same thing, modeling sports bras towards men. Maybelline marketing makeup towards men while using trans influencers and stuff like that. But the interesting part about this is the CEO has come out and said, hey, listen, we got to do something here to really get people back on our side, which brings me to this article. Bud Light and Budweiser to get a temporary redesign of their aluminum bottles, showing camouflage print to support scholarships for children of fallen American service members. Now, I would say on its own, this is a great thing. The people who have given their lives for our great country and made the ultimate sacrifice are heroes, and they should definitely be recognized as such. However, I don't think in the wake of a backlash, in order to try to get America points back, or however you want to call it, patriotic points, I don't think they should be used in such a way. I feel this is very disingenuous. This is very insulting. But, you know, hey, Anheuser-Busch is going to do anything they can to try to, you know, get their brand back on track. And that includes exploiting the lives of fallen soldiers, which is absolutely, I think, disgusting. But let's read on here. Anheuser-Busch is reportedly planning a temporary packaging redesign for some Budweiser and Bud Light products as the brand continues to suffer lagging sales in the wake of the company's controversial partnership with Lord Voldemort. A temporary redesign for aluminum bottles of Bud Light and Bud Light will feature a camouflage print in tribute to the Folds of Honor charity, which provides scholarships to the children of fallen and disabled service members and first responders, a source towards the New York Post. The plan was reportedly unveiled during a meeting last week at Anheuser-Busch's U.S. headquarters in St. Louis, where executives briefed distributors on plans for responding to the backlash against Bud Light. And again, on its own, I think this would be a great ad. This is a very patriotic ad, and I think anyone who's served deserves our utmost respect. You know, my grandfather was a veteran in Korea. I have the utmost respect for him. And I think everyone who serves, you know, no matter what position they're in exactly, or, you know, are heroes. And for those who have fallen in defense of our great country and made the ultimate sacrifice, I think they deserve all the accolades, or their family deserve all the accolades that you could possibly bestow on them. I really do. You know, back in a little bit of ancient history here, back in the times of Macedonia, when those soldiers fell fighting for the Persian Empire, they didn't have to pay any taxes anymore, which that's a pretty good benefit for having somebody fall, you know, during times of war. But, you know, Alexander the Great actually appreciated veterans, where Anheuser-Busch is just kind of shilling them out there to try to save their failing brand after, you know, doing really stupid things. The plan was reportedly unveiled during a meeting last week, as Anheuser-Busch read that already. A distributor who spoke with the Post said the camo print would likely only be applied to aluminum bottles of the two beers, but said it was possible that the temporary redesign would be applied to other packaging formats. A spokesperson for Anheuser-Busch did not immediately respond to the request for comment from the Daily Mail. The reported redesign comes as the brewing giant continues to suffer a sales slump for its flagship Bud Light brand. Long the best-selling beer in the U.S., Bud Light saw a 23.6% decline in sales compared to 1 year ago for the week that ended on May 6th, according to data from Bump Williams Consulting. I'm not going to go into read all of this. It's pretty much just all a rehash of exactly the controversy that's embroiled with, you know, the Anheuser-Busch company. However, I gotta say, although I do like the idea, and I do think the idea is very good to pay homage to fallen soldiers, people who have made the sacrifice for our country, because I think that's a great thing. These are great patriots that should be remembered, and, you know, should be propped up to the fullest extent. Definitely under this context, it feels very disingenuous. You know, this isn't about honoring soldiers, really. This is about trying to save a failing brand from an absolute catastrophe due to woke marketing executives, which, again, it comes across as very, you know, disingenuous. So I don't actually like the context of this, and I don't think many people are going to get behind it. Not that I don't like the idea. I think the idea is great. It's just the timing of it is ill-advised, and this just seems like an absolute shilling of how do we get people back on our side by trying to do this. Well, people love veterans, right? No, they do. They definitely do. But you are now using veterans solely for personal profit, which I do not think many people are going to get behind. Like I said, I'm not a marketing executive. I don't know what Anheuser-Busch could possibly do to fix their failing brand. But again, I don't think this is it. I think this is going to alienate more people, especially those who are aware of the boycott, which I would say is most people at this point. And I just feel like this is a really pathetic attempt by Anheuser-Busch. You know, what could they do right at this point? I don't know. It's hard to say, but definitely not rolling out fallen soldiers to try to promote their brand after they ran it into the ground themselves. I think, honestly, it's a sickening tactic. And one that I hope nobody falls for. Patriots, please keep up the boycott. We have done really well so far, and huge credit to all of you who have stopped buying this product. But we got to keep it up. And, you know, just because they're going to come out and virtue signal about this now, they should have done this before. If they did this before, their sales probably would have increased. Now it's just a cheap gimmick. Anyway, that's all I got. Leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It really helps out with the algorithm. Because again, YouTube does not want me talking about this anymore. I appreciate everyone who stayed here and listened up to this point. You guys are the real heroes, and the people who are continuing this boycott are the real heroes. And of course, anyone who has enlisted and served, you know, our great country, our great nation, are also the real heroes. I just don't want to see them exploited in this way. Anyway, that's all I got. I'll talk to you on the next one. Later.